For Comedy Hype News, I'm Ramil Thompson. In the world of acting, things can always be unpredictable as the range of scenarios are vast. There are many different movies with different requirements that work well for some, but not so much for others. No matter what the situation is or how experienced the actor is, there are always chances of differences on set. With this being said, Denzel Washington is one of the most famous and acclaimed actors in history. He's believed by many to be one of the greatest actors of all time for his range and excellent theater and film performances. Despite his massive fame and success, Denzel has managed to maintain some level of secrecy about the way he navigates in his career and how he handles himself as an actor. One rule Denzel has that many may not be aware of is that he doesn't want to engage in romantic scenes with white women. This politic has been consistent in Denzel's career for a number of years as he's not been shy about his stance. Currently, there are only two known instances of Denzel kissing a white woman on screen. The first being in the classic 1992 Spike Lee Malcolm X biopic, and the next one coming 20 years later in the 2012 film, Flight. Initially, when reports surfaced that Denzel and his white female counterparts were having some differences on set, many assumed it came from the woman. However, it was Denzel making the call. According to The Looper, the earliest recorded instance of Denzel editing a romance scene out was in the 1989 film, The Mighty Quinn. According to reports, Denzel had the romantic scene removed because of black women booing during the film's screening at the film's premiere. This moment of disapproval impacted Denzel greatly, and he subsequently made a point to show his black female fan base that he values them. A quote from Denzel from the aforementioned article states, "Black women are not often seen as objects of desire on film," Washington said. "They have always been my core audience." His loyalty to his black woman fan base isn't the only reason Denzel has refrained from being overly romantic with white women on screen. In another quote provided by the same source, Denzel reportedly said the following to white actress Kelly Lynch. "You know what, Kelly? I hate to say it, but white men bring women to movies, and they don't want to watch a black man with their woman." There was another instance where Denzel was said to have had an interracial love scene cut from the 1993 film, Pelican Brief. His co-star Julia Roberts alleged she had the scenes cut out, but a representative of Washington denied that claim, along with the claims of Washington asking for scene cuts from the film with Kelly Lynch. An excerpt from Nikki Swift on the matter involving Roberts states, "Although rumors about actor Denzel Washington's longtime refusal for on-screen interracial romance are still somewhat just rumors, Washington's reluctance to confront the gossip leaves many questions as to what really happened on which set. We may never know which of the specific incidents Washington employed this rule, but it is definitely something many people in the industry are aware of as a part of his package." Denzel's comment in reference to the devaluing of black women as love interests in comparison to white women on the big screen has a lot of historical and current merit. Historically, when it comes to American film romance and in general, white women have always been the standard of beauty and the standard for which men should pursue women. Much of the time in earlier Hollywood, black women were reduced to subservient and mammy roles such as Hattie McDaniel and Gone with the Wind. This demeaning imagery has been a complaint of the black community for years. Denzel seemed to be very conscious of this and has since decided to display his loyalty to black women in this way in order to push for more diversified romance representation. The second reason he gave in reference to the disapproval of white men explains a very real reality in our society and one that has had dangerous consequences. There have always been a section of white men who are intimidated by the idea of white women sleeping and being in romantic relationships with black men. This can be evidenced by the amount of lynching carried out against black men at the mere hinting of any possible sexual relationship with any white woman historically. It is highly likely that Denzel was aware of these social dynamics and the historical consequences of black men engaging romantically with white women, and this could have very much affected his relationships with them on and off screen. Interracial romance has always and continues to be a controversial topic. Due to obvious reasons, many have conflicting opinions on whether or not interracial dating is something black people need to engage in, most particularly with white people. Many people such as Dr. Umar Johnson most notably argues that those who step outside of their race to date do not love the race they come from, while others think it is simply a matter of personal taste and love. In the case of black men specifically, it has always been the most dangerous as far as the potential consequences, and some black men use that sole reason alone to avoid interracial dating, while others feel they are owed to be able to date whoever they want. Rajem Praswad's book, Why Black Men Love White Women, details the historical consequences a black man could face if they showed attention towards a white woman, saying that if the eyes of a black man were to land on a white woman, it could mean death. The book even theorized why some black men gravitate towards white women. This environment helped to greatly increase any interest the black man may have had in the white woman. If the black man had no innate interest in the white woman, he certainly would have developed some just out of curiosity. It would go on to say, as the physical and social distance between the white woman and the black man increased, the psychosexual distance between the two decreased, developing a mutual interest. A popular narrative over time concludes that many black men felt like they were quote-unquote getting revenge on the white men by sleeping with white women whom they felt had always sexually desired them anyway. In an article by Tatiana Ward on Black America, an excerpt in reference to her father states, when I asked him his thoughts on beauty biases, he mentioned many things, but the one thing that stuck out to me most was the idea that there was once a time where a black man could be killed even for looking at a white woman. In some ways, it was the ultimate revenge to covet her, and in other ways, it was the forbidden fruit. As previously stated, this mentality isn't uncommon and would provide even further validation to Denzel's earlier comments about many white men feeling uncomfortable about the relations between black men and white women. Another incident involving President Obama proves the same thing. According to an article from the Huffington Post, Obama proposed to a white woman twice, but her parents were unsupportive, which ultimately ended their relationship. In Hollywood, interracial dating doesn't seem to be much of an issue, as there are many white and black couples in Hollywood who are accepted to a large degree. There are some who theorize that dating a white person while in the industry can be heavily responsible for a black person's success. Due to the amount of privilege and access whites have over blacks, many see it as a sort of business move to romantically engage with whites to move up in the industry, which we all know as the term, sleeping your way to the top. It should be noted, however, as a group, most black men and black women are married to each other. But in the context of interracial dating, black men are the most likely to engage. According to statistics, it is 2.65 more times likely that in a black-white interracial union that the male will be black. This phenomenon can be an added reason behind Denzel's on-screen decisions. When discussing his stance further, Denzel added that it is much harder for women, and particularly African-American women, to get any consistent work in Hollywood. A quote from Denzel from Daily News Lagos states, "Black or white, there seems to be a cutoff for women. Don't have kids, you're out the door. They're constantly looking for the younger one, and for African American women, women of color, it's doubly hard. And then for dark-skinned African American women, it's even more difficult." These are very real challenges black women do face in the industry, and Denzel's decision to not willingly engage in any romantic scenes with any white woman could have been a contributing factor to many casting directors in Hollywood valuing black actresses more and more as time has gone on. One woman who may certainly appreciate his stance would be his wife Pauletta Washington. According to Parade, the two met all the way back in 1975 on the film set of Wilma, the Wilma Rudolph biopic in which Denzel played Wilma's husband and Pauletta played a fellow track star. The two would meet again at a party and then coincidentally see each other a third time at a play in which they were unaware they were sitting next to each other until the lights came on. Pauletta has referenced this exact moment as when she knew the two were meant to be. Surprisingly enough, Denzel's wife of 35 years wasn't an easy catch for Denzel. According to an interview of the two conducted by Daily News Lagos, Denzel's first two marriage proposals were rejected by Pauletta. Pauletta didn't explicitly state why she said no to Denzel in this interview, but the third time was clearly the charm. When speaking on her marriage and what keeps her secure, Pauletta states, "I am secure as to who Pauletta is. My mother raised me in a way to know who I am, and actually, he married me for who I am." Furthermore, in an Ebony magazine interview, she's been quoted as saying, "He has and knows he has stability in me as his wife. That's what gives him strength. Regardless if he misuses it, I can't dwell on that. But I do know that gives him a great platform to go and fly." Pauletta is still acting currently as well, as she is in the Spike Lee Netflix series She's Gotta Have It and was seen in the 2021 film Steps, produced by Shaquille O'Neal. Denzel's long-lasting and seemingly happy marriage to his wife can be seen as an example of his loyalty and appreciation to black women, and as a great example of black love. It seems that Denzel understands that black love being represented consistently on the big screen is just as important as it being shown in real life. As previously stated, interracial dating politics have always been a huge point of contention for many members of various racial groups, especially between blacks and whites. Whether it be on screen or in real life, there are those who seriously oppose the intermixing of races in any romantic life. Denzel hasn't explicitly voiced any bigoted reasons for not engaging with white women on camera, as his biggest reasoning has been consistent with honoring and respecting black women and being intentional about helping black women be seen as desirable and worthy of romantic pursuit. Being one of the top actors in the world and of all time, this stance is particularly powerful and has greatly impacted Denzel's legacy and perception as an actor and public figure. His intention of showing value and honor to the black woman is something that has undoubtedly opened doors for many black actresses and actors who may have the same values. With that being said, it is safe to say that we can credit Denzel with another positive contribution to the community and the culture in an already legendary career. Stay up to date with the latest news and comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel, follow Comedy Hype News across all social media, and look for our original content on our new streaming service at comedyhype.com. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Ramil Thompson.